Kept you waiting, huh?
Hello there and welcome to CrossCast, episode 127, recorded on Thursday, 28th September 2023. My name is Lewis and today I'm joined by three absolute guys. The first of them being, doesn't care about story, doesn't care about gameplay, doesn't care about graphics, doesn't care about genre, doesn't care about art style, doesn't care about the game, doesn't care about hygiene, doesn't care about work, doesn't care about food, doesn't care about Coldplay, doesn't care about Coldplay fans, doesn't care about you, fucking hates you. He doesn't even care about his gamer score. He cares about nothing, and his name is Alex.
That feels about right just now. Don't give a shit about it.
Parent of one, Alex, everyone.
Yeah, other than my son.
Husband of one. Husband of one.
Yeah, no comment. Next up, freshly sluiced and ready for action, he goes by many names. Milk Jug, Varicocele, Ichabod the Wandering Hat Salesman, Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub, Keith. But we know him as a slippery bugger, Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hello. What's that from again? Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub. Some old worldly Trumpton. Okay.
Something from your childhood, Ben.
Shut the fuck up, Alex.
Wow. Anyway, last but
It's only just gone up. It's only just released in Scotland, hasn't it? Trumpton.
No, it's not here
That's
yet.
why.
We don't
That's
have
why you
TV
know
yet.
it. Yeah. So, sorry, Lewis.
Sorry. Okay. Last but by no means least, fructose, sucrose, glucose, and everything like those. These were ingredients used to make a boy. The boy. The perfect boy. Thus Daniel Ward was born.
Thanks, Ben. Cheers, mate. The fucking sabotage there. Lewis going there. Pew, 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 pew.
All right. All well? All good?
Good, mate.
Not too bad.
You okay?
I am good. Oh, Ben's still got a cough.
Still got cough. Sorry.
Got a tickly cough?
Oh, we bit tickly throat. Yeah, it's
yeah.
okay. I'll soldier on.
That's guys, hot lemon.
Just call him that.
That's me.
Just to eat. That's by many names.
Yeah. Very good.
What have you got to drink, Ben?
What have I got tonight? I have got a bottle of Prime.
Oh, no way.
So, just drinking. No, I'm kidding. That's just my son. So I was just doing that for comedic effect. I'm drinking a not from the bottle, bottle of chocolate block.
What's that?
Red wine. It's a nice red wine, South African red. Is available in this country from all good middle class wine places.
Wineries.
Is it true what they say about wine? So if you buy a bottle of wine and it's anything over a tenner, you get double the value, but anything below it, you don't. Is that right, or is that just bullshit?
Yeah, it's probably fairly accurate. I think this is about 25 to 30 a bottle if you buy it full price over here. And you can taste the difference.
Okay. You get from Sainsbury's?
No.
No, it's
So
finest.
you keep that in your fridge?
No, don't actually.
What was all that about then? You said you were...
Well, I've just been a gobshite, wasn't I?
No, you
But
weren't.
no,
No,
You're
fucking out.
you're backpedaling. The fact
No,
that
no,
you put red wine in the fridge, Ben.
no. I said red wine should be stored between, what was it, 11 and 14 degrees Celsius. And then everyone was
you never
like,
actually you never said Celsius, actually.
well, that was implied. And
Just
then everyone
numbers.
went, "Ugh," and then Mark went, fridges only go up to 3 to 5 degrees. And then I sent
This
him a
is
picture.
what happens when a rapper marries a Scottish woman and they both pretend to like wine. Yes, this red wine's very cold this evening. Yes, that's how it's meant to be drank. It's very tasty.
It's
Yes.
actually
How's your warm white?
But no, we generally don't use the wine fridge for red wine. I was just being a gobshite and making a point.
Yeah, don't believe you. But Dan, what's in that blue can?
It is Vocation Crush Hour Everyday
Ooh.
Paisley Ale.
Lovely.
Nice.
It's nice, that one.
Nice.
It's nice. It is very hard to read in this light. 4.6 volume.
Mhm.
We have
Oh, he's put the glasses down on his nose, everybody. Means
get
business.
ready to get ready to squeeze the right, fuck it.
Squeeze me.
You had every opportunity to listen to me there, and I'm ignoring you now.
Alex, you
Move.
get a big bottle. I've got gluten juice, by the way.
Nice.
In
Thought
this,
you said gluten juice then.
I've only got my other
That would
big
be
bottle
alcohol.
today.
I've got celiac. I'm trying to help myself.
Try to balance it out by doing the ultimate. What was that, Alex? Is that a new bottle?
No, it's an old one.
All
just
right.
Ooh.
Where's the other one?
Big one.
Where's Big Red gone?
I don't know where it is.
Banana Armour.
It's here
Yeah.
somewhere.
Check the bins.
I left it on the bin lid.
Oh, for fuck's
yes.
sake, he's doing it again.
Dear, dear. All right. Shall we just get cracking and do some pick up and play?
Mmm.
Let's do it. All right. Pick up and play time. It's that bit where we talk about things, much like the rest of this podcast. Ben, you're clenching your fist and shaking it. Let's come at you first.
Oh, wow. Good. What have I picked up? I have picked up a couple of digital things, if we count those.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Digital goods from the PlayStation Store. Namely, the Separate Ways DLC or expansion for Resident Evil 4 Remake. Got that. Fully intending to start it on Saturday night as a little spooky evening to myself. But then I also bought Baldur's Gate 3. Finally caved on that on the PS5.
Can we clarify something just before you continue?
Sure.
Different in pronunciation between yourself and Dan on that game.
Baldur's Gate.
Bald.
He's bold, mate.
But what would you say, Alex?
I'd say Baldur's as well. But
I would say Baldur's. So we're 50-50.
yeah, but
Oh,
Posh
fuck off,
Scotland.
Lewis.
Posh Scotland.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a
going on
is this
the-
an
that's
going on the fucking
east-west
list.
divide.
No, it's going on the
Think it might
list. Fuck off.
East-west divide.
Absolute gobshite.
East folk
I would
say
say
Baldur's.
Baldur's. I would say Baldur's.
Baldur's.
No, you fucking Baldur's.
Baldur's.
Do you say Mal or Mall?
I don't say either.
Yeah, I don't say either.
When am I going to use that in any
I'd
sort of
say
context? I live in it.
Go to the shopping centre.
I'm not going to the mall, am I? Fucking hell.
Head down to the market.
Is that Darth Mal over there? Can you see Darth Mal, anyone?
I would say mall.
Yeah, I'd say Mall.
Mal.
Mal?
You say Mal.
But
So
only
Dan, what
because
would
it
you
is.
say? If you were going to America,
Mall.
you would say Mall.
Mall.
Okay.
But there is a
I say
there is
Mal,
a
am I?
local shopping centre here that's known as the Mall.
Right.
Is that?
Is that just like an
It's
anecdote?
Irvine.
By this guy called Malcolm.
Yeah.
Irvin Mall.
It's got a
Into
fucking
Mal.
Savers and a Sayers. That's all it's got in there.
Apologies.
Which
Which is
is-
45 minutes. Ben,
Quiet, go, move.
That's it. That's all I've picked up. That's all I've picked up. Move on.
Dan, what about yourself?
Baldur's.
EAFC. How do you pronounce that in America? Soccer. Soccer.
Ifk.
Ifkes. Yeah, same. Yeah, soccer. Mark said that in our Patreon group the other day, which you can find at thecrossplayers.com/Patreon. Oh shit, patreon.com/crossplayers. Sorry, Liz, get it wrong. You can go there and find that. But yeah, Mark said soccer. Do you guys say soccer or football?
Say football.
Soccer.
Say football.
You don't say soccer. Fuck off. You don't.
Yeah, football.
Pepper.
Football. Okay, move on.
Footy.
I
Footy.
picked that one.
Footy. Give a footy, lads.
Dogger.
Paolo one chop.
Won't you pay?
One pay.
That Mendes is very good, isn't he? Also picked this
Monday.
up. for the Steam Deck, which is a transparent back. You can do the front, but it's meant to be an absolute ball ache. So I bought this, and Carl's going to fit it for me. So
Carl bought a transparent back, so Dan had to buy a transparent back.
Dan bought one first.
Sad.
Dan bought a Steam Deck, made Carl buy one, and then Dan's had that transparent back for about 2 months, but can't be asked doing it. And then Carl's exceptionally eager and wants to change mine. So
Please you.
Please me that as well.
It's good to have friends like Carl.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, within
Makes you
local
feel better about
distance.
yourself.
Not like you.
Alex, but you.
Well, I've picked up EAFC as well, but I think I said I picked that up last week, so it doesn't count.
Did you? Doesn't count.
Yeah. I'm
Anything
hoping I'm not picked anything up yet, but hopefully by the time this comes out, I will have picked up an analog pocket translucent parent, whatever it is, transparent edition. Since I didn't get the glow in the dark one. What?
You want an auto prompt then? I haven't picked up the analog pocket pro transparent for 249.99.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Transparent, you put it down, you can't find it again.
That's a good point. You won't bother with it.
Nah,
Are you going to use it though? Sorry,
No,
are you gonna...
but I've wanted one for ages.
just what you want.
Like, are we not past this yet? No,
No.
move on. Go on, Lewis. What have you
No, I'll pick it up. Back to your transparent
Handhelds.
rocket. Was it?
Analog pocket.
Pocket rocket.
That's the one.
So you didn't fancy one of the new... or is that one of the new colours?
Yes.
I'm losing track.
Yeah.
So it was the glow-in-the-dark one that came out
Couple of
like
weeks
a month
ago.
ago. Yeah. Right.
I didn't get one of them. I did try and get one and I missed out by the time I put my card details in. It was gone.
That's a blessing in disguise.
How much?
$4,999.
So much money.
So I can add it to the list of how much money you've spent
That's
for this
like
whole year, Alex. So for the Game of the Year
$249.
episode.
That's like £249.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
We're going
It's
to
a
present
joke.
you with your total expenditure for the year this December.
Oh, well, I'll
What an
tell you-
episode that's going to be.
Yeah.
Doing Alex's tax return.
I don't know. Did most of my purchases not happen last year? No?
I don't know. It felt like
Financial year,
February to
maybe.
April this
Martin's
year you
listening.
were
Careful.
burning through
Yeah.
serious
I've been
amounts
pretty
of
good.
cash.
Although I did almost buy a Meta Quest 3 today. I haven't bought it yet. But
That's just, you're a fucking liability.
He is, isn't he? Disposable income for days.
It's all part
Scotland,
of my
though.
fun fund. I come get my fun fund.
I know, yeah. Fucking Laurie's like, oh, did you buy it on Klarna?
Oh, amazing.
That was peak Laurie today, wasn't it? Not knowing how Klarna works and just
Just so
assuming
you
it was
can
just
insulate
direct
you.
debit. Yeah, he's just like, you pay monthly on Klarna. I was like, that's not how it works.
Bless him.
I know.
He has
Bless.
people to deal with that for him.
Just,
All right, Ben, what have you been playing?
Well, as I alluded to, Baldur's Gate 3. And a lot of it, I must say. Yeah.
How much is a lot?
you should know.
About 15 hours, it says on the in-game clock, I think. Which is a fair bit in just a few days, obviously. But it's, it quite on the contrary to Alex's sort of first dabblings with it, it grabbed me straight away, and clicked with me instantly. I'm finding it very hard. I'm playing on the easiest difficulty and still finding it very challenging, like combat especially. But it is just very clever, and it does feel like, I don't know about you, Dan, but I think the biggest thing for me is how much it kind of feels like I've never really played proper board games, or I've never paid any attention to Dungeons and Dragons, but it does feel like that sort of experience, like with the narrator and the dice rolls deciding on your fate and things like that. And it just feels like I didn't quite understand it when everyone was explaining you can basically just do anything.
Yeah.
But it does feel like that. So I did this one section where, several different things where you don't even realize there's branching paths until afterwards. So like there was this bit where I had to infiltrate a goblin camp, and the way I did it was walked in the front door, and there's a little goblin there that goes, "Oh, you can't come past there," and basically had a conversation with him, and he goes, "All right, I'll let you pass if you smear shit on your face." So I was like, "All right," and did it, and then he just went, "Right, on your way," and then all the goblins accepted me, and I was like, "Okay, that's fine. That was pretty easy." But then looking it up later, there's other people that have fought this entire camp and like basically had like hours and hours of battles in this goblin camp to get through it. And I just waltzed in. I was walking around with flies around my head for the whole time. But because I'd smeared dung on my face, I just skipped past that whole thing. And there's several instances where it's just been like that. I got to a fork in the road and went, right instead of left. Met a guy who then helped me in another battle. And then he decided he wanted to fight me after that. Whereas when I looked it up afterwards, the way the guide tells you to do it is completely opposite. And you never meet him and you just go and have this battle before even encountering that guy. Whereas if I'd have followed the guide, I wouldn't have had his help in the battle, wouldn't have fought him, that then got me more kind of equipment and XP and stuff. So it's, just crazy, like branching paths and stuff. And really, really, really enjoyed it. I'm at a very difficult battle now where I feel like I need to. So I've died a few times. So I feel like I kind of need to approach it differently, clear out some of the enemies who end up coming into the battle, like beforehand, like pick them off before the big battle starts, rather than me being against like 20 different people at the same time and then dying instantly. It's just cool. It's very strategic and makes you feel very clever when you get something right. Lewis.
Can we just clarify what archetype or what kind of character are you?
Sort of a kind of a wizardy kind of guy.
Right,
would you believe?
So you're not really playing the game properly. Fine.
Queso is his name.
Queso.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
So I think the part when I'm trying to explain this to people why I like it so much, and it's not a genre that really like appeals to me. I think I played Baldur's Gate when I was younger. In fact, I remember playing it with my cousins. I think it was on the PS2 at some point. Having a relatively decent time with it, but not really connecting in, different ways like I did with some games at that time. But I really do think like a good execution of a genre can trump whether or not you actually enjoy that genre or not. So like a good example of that is like Persona 5 is like a JRPG, is the best version of a JRPG. It's like the ultimate version of that. So if you go and play that, I think if you don't care about JRPGs, that's a perfect game for you to go and actually play, because I think it's just such a good game. Baldur's Gate 3 is like that on acid. It's insane, the amount of opportunity in it. There's a community episode, where they're rolling a dice and it's like, oh, be careful, you need to, and it keeps repeating. I know that's like the whole point of Community is like the guy that writes it. It's a massive Dungeons and Dragons fans anyway, and they've got one episode now that's not on the air about Dungeons and Dragons. But like again, the impact of that dice roll, even when you don't realize it's happening, like the what do they call them? The like perseverance and different kind of like observation checks and stuff that happen. Yeah. Those things that are happening constantly. The mechanics that go into that game, and then the impact of time in that game is something that the player, I don't think it makes it very clear to you how that impacts your play style and the way things happen, and the timing of characters just appearing in certain ways, and like it's just absolutely insane. Even who was it, Phil, who said he'd never met one of the characters, Asterion, who is probably the most beloved character now within this game because of like the way he is and just like also, but for him never to have met him at the start shows just how technical and how less reliant it is on the, let's call it the traditional storytelling aspects that we're kind of used to in games. So no, I'm made up, it's gelled. I'm just getting back into it now, as I gave myself a couple of weeks away because I'd like busy time with work, and now I'm starting to give myself the time back with it again, and I just absolutely love it. So
that's good. Yeah, it's the first game in a fair while where I have gone, I just wish I had a whole day to myself to play this. Like I haven't done that for a very long time.
It ranks up there with some of the best games yet. Are you going to give it a bit of time to settle first, or?
I would say it's too early for me to call. I'd like to see, in another 15 hours if like the battles have gelled a bit more, if they click a bit more, because I am really struggling with some of them, and I'm like I'm barely doing any damage at a time, and I'm just about scraping through some of them. So if I get a few more kind of spells and cantrips and whatever else, and then get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm really good at this, I think that's when it will click properly. But,
Cool.
yeah, it's a clever game, and you're right. The part about it holding up, even if you haven't met one of the main characters, and yet the game still works. It's really good, and as I said, the narrator I think puts context around everything that's happening, and it's just lovely and gamey and very silly, and it's made me laugh a few times as well, which is not something I think it gets any credit for. But
Did you get to the barn?
Yeah.
That that as a random encounter.
It's just odd.
It's odd, but again, I know people are saying it's a very horny game, but it's a very horny game with purpose. And I think the purpose a lot of the time is the humour behind it and the absurdity, and that is the perfect example of it. And you can just stumble on that within the first 3 hours, I think.
Yeah.
So it is great. It's really, really good.
Very good.
I'm really looking forward to playing it, but I think I mentioned in Discord that I don't want a massive time sink in front of the telly. I almost want it on a Switch or a Steam Deck, a Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be, just to be able to not be away from everybody. Like
this is nailed on.
I think back to Elden Ring, and that's like 120 hours or something. Same amount of time I've spent in Tears of the Kingdom, that I've managed to spend a good chunk of that, more than half, ignoring my family whilst I've been playing it.
I'd suspect that the Elden Ring DLC and Elden Ring itself would launch on the next Switch, as in it'll be on the next Switch, because I think it'll be able to play it based on the way that the innards are. And I'd be stupidly surprised if this doesn't hit Switch in some capacity, probably the next gen. But it'd be great.
It doesn't feel like it can't. Mark asked me the same thing the other day, whether I think it will come to Switch, and I was
Looks
like
shit on the Steam Deck. Awful on Steam
And the
Deck.
only reason I can see it not coming is the file size. It's like 128 gig or 150 gig or something like that, which is just massive.
Good bit cart.
But Lewis, I'm probably going to say, but I've played a good chunk of it on Backbone. So probably at least half of my time has been playing it on the Backbone.
Perfect game for it.
Perfect. Really good. So, when that PS Portal arrives, I think I'll probably still be playing this. So
Nice.
Oh, that'll be
That's
nice.
soon, isn't it? It's not long.
Yeah, November.
Yeah, a month.
11th or something like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, lovely. Very nice.
That's
Anything else?
Yep. No,
Right.
that's all.
All right. Alex, what about yourself? Late
Still
on us.
playing Starfield. Still playing
Oh, right,
Starfield.
okay. Dan, what about you?
EAFC. I'll let
Sorry,
Alex
Alex,
talk Starfield. Go on.
I wasn't going to say much else because, to be fair, because I don't really. I did get a day on Sunday, Ben, like you were talking about there, where I just got to sit and play games, and it was lovely. And I played a lot of Starfield.
You still really enjoying it?
Yeah.
Still up there? Good.
I'm kind of towards the I could go and finish it stage, but I'm just kind of mopping up little side stories and then getting involved in other ones. And every time I think, right, okay, I'll go and do this now, and then I get embroiled in something else, and then embroiled in something else, and then just enjoying that bit, and then I want to do more, and then it's just fun. I'm just having great fun with it. So, but I'm at the stage now. I'm thinking, right, okay, it's time to actually go and finish it, and it's probably as much because there's so many other things I want to play as well. It's not like I'm not enjoying that, but I want to play other things. So I think this week I'll probably try and at least finish the main quest and get in a new game plus, and then I'll probably just stop playing it as much and still jump in and out of it. But I'm kind of needing the end of my first playthrough anyway. Really enjoying it.
Cool.
Very nice.
The fact you said your first playthrough shows how much you must be enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I was enjoying it. I need to go back to it. Just want to commit to Baldur's now, I think. Get that done and then go back to it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Alex?
EAFC, but I'll let Dan talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it together.
That sounds lovely.
It is the same game as what's released in previous years. It's very, very similar. They've changed the UI. It feels slicker in parts, but the innards are pretty much the same. There's not much change, I think, in terms of the way that game plays. And I missed most of the last 23 release. Didn't play it a lot. I think we played it early, didn't we, for a bit, and then jumped back into it a couple of games recently. But yeah, feels exceptionally similar. Handles very same. I think there's some things you can do that are a little bit different, but nothing too dramatic. Ultimate Team is still, or could be, an absolute huge cost sink, and it's scaring the life out of me. I'm not packing plays any better than what I did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. It still feels very addictive. The best player I've packed is Harry Kane, and I think I got Rodrigo for Real Madrid that I sold last night for 110k. So I'm starting to build my team around that 110k, but just completely refusing to buy any packs. I would say some of the objectives are a lot more generous, I think, than previous years, and it does feel like it's giving you a lot more non-tradable packs, which is decent. But again, as Alex and I said, they're a bit shit because you can't obviously trade those characters and those players. So you're kind of like stuck with a load of dross that you can use for SBCs, but still. It's, yeah, really, really similar. I got humbled for the first time in 7-8 years on a game.
Not by me.
Not by Alex. Definitely not by Alex.
You sound so humble when you say it like that, Dan.
I am humble about that. Thanks, Ben. I got humbled by it. It hurt a bit at the time. And as goal number 5 went in with absolute no reply from me. Phil was magnanimous at best. And, that was quite fluky. That was quite, even though he'd been rainbow flicking balls all over Alex's head and stuff. Good. He's a good player, very good player, technical player as well. So I've got my work cut out for me. But I've been training, guys. Don't worry. I'm not gonna let you down. I'm gonna try my best to beat Phil at least once this season. So, well, want to dive into clubs.
Oh, I wonder how. I'd love to see the master at work. Just sort of jump cuts to Phil, just like holding the controller, just like everybody else goes. Wow, it looks exactly like how I play the game.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, but it's good. It's fine. Decent.
You'd love the UI, Ben. You'd love it.
Good UI.
Yeah,
I feel bad for saying the top 3 gamers in the group last week. Now I feel like I put too much pressure on Dan.
What way?
He's crumbled under it.
Yeah,
I have.
Well, I said you, Carl, and Ethan are the best gamers in the group.
Bring it up again for.
Oh, and now maybe I was wrong. Yeah, Phil.
To be fair, I think Phil's probably up there. I think on the slide, he is very, very humble about it, but I think he's a very good player.
He also won Walkabout Mini Golf.
He did.
Okay.
Did he?
I need to play a game of that.
Not Phil too. He was 30 shots behind.
Staring at everyone's feet. Yeah, I'd like to play a game of that. So let me know when you're next playing. Jump in.
Yeah.
Please include me.
You were invited, you just didn't come.
I don't remember.
Cool. So is there any noticeable, like, is it just a reskin of...
It's a fucking
it's
reskin.
a wee bit, it's a reskin, but it's a wee bit different. Like, you've now got, like, female players in Ultimate Team and things like that, and there's a lot more, like, the female side of it's a lot more integrated into the game now, so it's not just like it's an added feature, it's like a fully fledged part of the game, which is fine.
Good.
And like some of the animations and stuff are really good. Like, see, when like people are getting booked and stuff, it's far more of a cinematic than just the referee going. It's actually quite cool. A lot of like the touches in terms of Dan says around the UI, like the way it shows you things and like your shots on target and all that kind of statistic stuff really done quite well in this one.
It's funny at the half time as well when it's just 2 fat white guys just chatting.
But it is actually there. There's now a Scouse lady commentator that goes superb all the time.
Yeah. I was just superb shot that.
And
those
like
cool.
The cinematics around it all, like see when you like at the start of the game and like I played at Newcastle and they did like the whole Newcastle experience, all that side of it feels like a kind of step up. And then like at the end, like you see like Alex Scott coming out and interviewing the players, and then the commentators are there, and then it goes into the changing rooms and you see them celebrating the changing rooms and things like that. Like not part of the game, but just part of the kind of presentation. And I think the presentation's probably taken a step up, but the gameplay, as Dan said, is fairly similar with some tweaks, which is
really
the gameplay was fine. That's been fine for several years, right? Yeah. But do you feel like you get the sense that they've gone above and beyond now that they've gone, all right, we've lost the FIFA license, we need to put a bit more effort into
a lot better
everything else.
Yeah. Particularly if you were going to pick up the Switch version, like because I know I mentioned the Switch version before, and the Switch version is finally a new version of the game. So there is everything now in the Switch version. Like the graphics aren't there, but the content is.
That's good. Just as well because you can't get the old ones anymore.
You can't.
They've taken them off all the digital
Yeah,
stores.
it's just fucked off.
Oh wow.
Yeah, every
It's
single
It's an
FIFA.
authentic game. It's a harder game, I think. It's harder to score than previous games. And I think the elite
Not
players...
for Phil.
Yeah, not for Phil. Yeah. Okay, carry on. Move on.
I have been playing an old game, and after I spoke about it last week, I was mentioning whilst we were discussing Starfield, wanting the ship to be like a character within the game. I went back to one of those titles that I mentioned, and I've been playing Knights of the Old Republic on the Switch. Game that I'd started a couple of years ago, almost to the day. It's like October time 2021 is when I stopped playing after about 4 hours. Picked it back up, just my save, had a little look at a guide on how to sort of progress, because I've forgotten. And I've just been totally sucked into that game. It hasn't aged great. The story's still there. The gameplay has we've obviously come on leaps and bounds in the 20 odd years since it first released. But it's just, I think it was one of my top 10, if not top 20. And it's still there. It's such a good game. I'm really, really looking forward to the remake whenever it comes out. I just hope that they stay true to that, to the original. And I think it'll be there. But yeah, the OG game on the Switch, cracking experience.
Is it still definitely being developed?
Yeah, so I double checked this. So it stopped last year. What they called Embracer moved it. It wasn't to where they wanted it to be, the quality, and they moved it. And apparently earlier this year it restarted again.
Okay.
But they've been quiet about it.
It's a worry that it's under Embracer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can get past the sort of older tropes, as it were, it's a good game to play. I don't know how long it'll take me to get through, but it's a decent, chunky game.
It's turn-based, isn't it?
No.
No?
Well, it's almost like an...
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, it's almost like an action RPG. You select the moves. It's almost all automated. You just see if you want to do a normal attack or a power attack, or if you want to heal yourself. And I guess there is an element of they might attack, and then it comes to your shot. I don't think it is properly time-based. It might be It might be the similar style as Final Fantasy 9. What's that?
Oh, the ATB.
Yes, like that. It might be that. So it doesn't obviously present itself as that.
Mysterious.
Indeed. But
Sounds like
I'm
turn-based
just
to me.
happy to be reunited with Ebon Hawk.
Okay.
Great actor.
Yeah, it's good. That's it. That's all I've been playing. Lovely. Right. Okay. Shall we round out today's episode with a little bit of a topic, gaming discussion, as it were?
Yeah.
Why not?
Sorry, we're gonna touch on how our tastes have evolved over the years. How time has ground us all down slowly, and we're now just small piles of ash on the ground. So yeah, how do we have any genres that we used to either ignore or hate that we now love? So Ben, you brought this to us. So why don't you kick us off?
Sure thing. Yeah, so this was prompted by having never played a CRPG before. And
What's that?
and
What's
then-
that? Computer?
Computer RPG? Which is what Baldur's Gate 3 is. And very much enjoying it. But it's always been one of those things where I thought, it looks a bit sort of nerdy. But loving it. And it just made me think, well, there's loads of stuff that I used to just dismiss outright or kind of like actively rally against without really properly giving it the time of day. And that's the best example for me. But like even Resident Evil 4 this year, which I may have mentioned once or twice that I really enjoyed. That's another one. Never got into horror. Never enjoyed. Like I've played a few hours of some Resident Evil games, but then dropped out with for various reasons. I just think it's it's weird how your tastes. I don't know if it's just an age thing, but you just become more open to new stuff generally. And as you said, Lewis, you become more proficient at games, as we kind of touched on last week. More proficient and more maybe tolerant of different play styles as well.
JRPGs are a big one for you as well.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't grow up playing them at all. I thought, I used to think Zelda was an RPG when I was growing up. And I was like, well, that's my RPG.
Yeah.
Why do I need to play any of these other silly little elf games like Final Fantasy? That just looks like a rip-off of this. It was very kind of like Nintendo blinkered and completely wrong, which I can see now, but that's what I was like as a kid. And yeah, now I would say that's probably one of my favourite genres. And my first one was probably Octopath Traveler or one of the South Park JRPGs that they did, the
Stick of
Fractured
Truth.
Butthole.
Yeah.
Which is, a few years ago, which is ridiculous. But it's lovely now being able to go back and, try older games or older style games like Sea of Stars, and haven't managed to get into Chrono Trigger. Still seems a bit impenetrable to me.
That one for me, it's almost like it's just past that cutoff of when games got a bit easier, or like the kind of the sort of general gameplay mechanics changed ever so slightly, like maybe the mid-90s or something. Because Chrono Trigger was 92 or 93. That's a total guess.
Something like that.
It might be wrong.
mid-90s.
Yeah, but I noticed when I tried to play it, it just seemed a lot older.
Right.
Than,
Final Fantasy
even like A Link
6.
to the Past, which is older than that game. So I don't know.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 6 is like that for me. Like it's one step too far where I just didn't enjoy it at all because it felt too obtuse. But yeah.
But then based on this conversation, will there come a time when we'll be more tolerant of them? Because I know like Final Fantasy 6 and Chrono Trigger are both held right at the top, aren't they? And
they are. I think it's a good conversation topic because I think there's also, you definitely are biased based on your experience of those games when you were younger. And I think I think it's almost like there's certain games that fall into that bracket. Like Final Fantasy VIII, I wouldn't wish on anyone. Graphically, it's awful. But to me, it was a very special game. First Final Fantasy game, JRPG. Never played wouldn't even know at that point what a JRPG is. But the way that it means something to me now, I don't think any of you guys could go back and play that. But not to say that genre isn't appropriate, or not to say that you guys wouldn't enjoy it.
Quill, that's the guy's name, is it?
Quill? In what?
In Final Fantasy VIII? Is that his name?
Squall.
Squall. Close.
What was the little mouse in Moss?
Squall, Quistis, Zell, Renoa, Cypher. What are the other ones?
Cypher.
Enabling a sleeper agent.
Yeah. Thought I was having a stroke then.
The crow flies at midnight.
Squall. But yeah, what about you guys? Any that you can think of that you've sort of dabbled in recently and kind of got a new appreciation for?
I think I'm similar to you, but perhaps JRPGs. But there's one more for you for the future. For 3D platformers, Ben, you're going to love them in a couple of years' time.
You will?
I don't mind 3D platformers. Like I like it. Just one certain one that I hate.
Yeah, I am very similar to you. Like it was very Nintendo blinkered when I was through the 90s.
I was venting into you.
Through the
live in
90s,
Scotland. He lives in the
Kindred
south.
spirit.
Yeah, we're
Jesus
basically the
Christ.
same.
He's 55. You'll...
Where I would have like Ocarina of Time, and I would see these other the games on the PlayStation. I'm like, I don't fucking need that. That's rubbish. I've got this. This is one of the greatest games ever. What have you got? Final Fantasy VII looks shite. I don't want
Dark Cloud.
Don't want turn-based combat. Looks rubbish. And even like up until very, very recently, I felt the same way. Just something sort of clicked. I think like, over the course of a few days, and I was like, I quite fancy just not taking my time with a battle, but being able to like plan out what I wanted to do. And this is even like people will say, "Oh, you don't like JRPGs? What about Pokemon?" Like, man, can you really count Pokemon? Like I played the first gen on the Game Boy Color back in the day, but then nothing. Like I didn't consider that as a JRPG. I just
But
considered
that's
that
what
as
I
something.
said to you guys before. Like games like that transcend the genre. You don't count the genre because nobody cared at that point. You never played the Pokemon card game for the sake of it being a card game. You bought it because it was the thing that everyone was doing. Zeitgeist.
The Zeitgeist.
Bing!
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Dan.
Thanks,
Typically,
Tone piece.
it's a toad piece.
Circle back in that later.
Okay, guys. No, we're all executives.
Enough.
yeah. So I think that's the main one for me, to be honest. I feel like I'm still stuck in my ways to an extent where I'll see a game and I'll just be like, it's fucking shit. Like, I'm not even going to bother trying. And I can use an example of like the Xenoblade games, where what was the one, the remake of the first one we got?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Xenoblade.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade. I'm surprised you don't say Xenoblade.
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 Yeah. Xenoblade. Those games. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but all that Monado, that kind of stuff, when you're just presented with this huge world and then it just bombards you with information. And normally I go, oh, fuck, I'll pick this up and I go on. But it just kept on giving you more and more information. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like that and Monster Hunter. I will not play a Monster Hunter game because I cannot be bothered. I don't want to have to go to the wiki page to know how to pause. Just push the pause button. That should be what it is. I don't want to have to push a button combination to sit down. It's just silly. It's those types of things. I'm still well stuck in my ways. And you'll get folk like Nate who'll just, oh, it's absolutely fantastic. But like it's...
Great.
Like you'll come up, you'll say stuff like that. It's just I just will not ever be able to. At this point, they're my 3D platformers, Ben. Those
You're too far gone.
I'm too far gone
with that genre. It's, the other side of it is as well is like I think we've been able to recognise which we probably didn't recognise before, but when you're like the way we all take the piss out of each other. If I see Lewis has been playing FIFA, I'm like, is everything okay at home? Like, we can recognise when we're in that kind of mire of just playing stuff that is effectively trash. Like, and now we can appreciate stuff for what it is.
£70 game, that man.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Alex, what about you?
I mean, I kind of feel a bit like Lewis, whereas I'm still kind of stuck in my ways. But what I would say is I'm far more open to trying things now. They might not click, but I'm more likely to give it a go than I used to be. But then there's some that then do really click. I think Yakuza Like a Dragon's one that I really go back to. I would never have played a game like that.
Oh, that's one of those ones. That's one of those ones that looks fucking rubbish.
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it, and I can't wait for Infinite Wealth in January. Like, that's one of my most anticipated games because of how much I enjoyed the first one, and I never thought I'd complete a turn-based game. Like, it was just turn-based games I got bored of in the first half hour, and that one just completely engrossed me, and I think the next one will, and I don't know what it was to do with the characters, and yes, Lewis.
Engrossed or engrossed?
As I was going to say, engrossed. Engrossed.
That must be a West Coast Scotland thing because my wife says the same.
Does she?
Engrossed.
Yeah,
And like,
engrossed.
every time I'm like, I think you read engrossed. Yeah.
It engrossed me.
Take the fucking bin out. Can't do the accent.
Receive my bottles.
Sorry, Alex.
And Pikmin, Alex, is another one for you.
Pikmin is another one for
Great
me. So
example.
I really, really liked Pikmin 4. Probably one of my favourite games this year. Just something really good about it. Nice, easy, feel-good game. Not easy. It's not like some bits. It's not easy, but you can pick up and drop it. And you don't need to. It's kind of light strategy. I wouldn't say there's a lot of strategy to it. I don't feel you need to be that strategic to finish it and to do what you need to do. Because I think in the fourth one they got rid of a lot of the mechanics, but it made it a bit less stressful from what I understand. But Yeah, that is another one. Final Fantasy, to an extent. I mean, I finished a Final Fantasy game this year, so I mean, that counts.
Christ.
Yeah.
First one out of us to ever
Dan's
finish a
face.
Final Fantasy game. Amazing.
Wow.
Incredible.
Nah, not with that.
But that game, again, now I've kind of gone the other way and been like, I wish this was turn-based. Oh, this is a bit too platinum-y kind of thing,
Mm.
you know, which is a shame. But that's Dan's influence, though, I think.
Ooh, I'll take
I
that.
can't appreciate this newfangled Final Fantasy.
I know. It's a shame, innit? Mine were interesting. So the first I thought of was Witcher 3 because I never really had any sort of affinity with like open world or action RPGs when I was younger. I say that term loosely because The Witcher kind of like genre bends quite a bit, but that got me into a certain type of game that I never really expected to. Elden Ring was the next obvious choice. I think I never expected to enjoy a FromSoft game, and it was FOMO that made me buy that game. And adore it like you guys did. I think that's something a lot of people are surprised by. The one that the genre that keeps on jumping out to me is just like mobile games in general. Obviously I play a lot of Marvel Snap, but even then before that, Grindstone, absolutely love that game. Playing, was it Florence as well?
Lovely game.
Just a lovely sweet game, just like really cool little experience, and realising that I don't know, that mobile platform's just growing and growing. It's quite encouraging. And now that it's starting to get quite bespoke games for it, I'm still excited to see what happens on that in the next couple of years, especially with like the Apple announcement in terms of them being able to power certain games. And I think Resi whatever's coming to it.
4. It's
Resi
going to be 60
4,
quid.
Yeah,
Yep.
8 and 4.
Yeah, they're treating it like a console. I've seen one guy stupidly rig out, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter today, where he rigged out his phone to basically hook up to a projector, and he's running a game off an Xbox controller and playing whatever it might have been
With a fan attached to his phone to keep it cool.
An RGB fan, no less. So the mobile kind of area, I think it's one that I'm intrigued by, and because it's a certain type of game that I know, again, games like Marvel Snap, Hearthstone, again, nothing new. They've been around for 5-10 years, Gwent. I'm just curious to see what else is available, and what else kind of like happens to that console aspect in the next couple of years too. So that's probably the genre for me that I'd say I was surprised by.
That's it. Mobile as a platform is a really good shout, actually. Probably for most of us. Like, not so much this year, but last year I really enjoyed like Poem P and Marvel Snap as well. And then this year I've played a little bit of Christ, I forget what is it. Terra Nil, the Devolver one that was on Netflix games,
Maybe
something like that.
Something like that.
And like the fact you've got Oxenfree 2 launching on Netflix, so you can just play that on your phone on the backbone. That's become it feels like mobile games are becoming more mainstream and more accessible. And
what was the other one that came this week? Or is it Storyteller? The Annapurna one?
Yeah.
Is Annapurna that one? I always get them and Devolver mixed up. I'm sure that's Annapurna, but that's now on Netflix games as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, loads. But the other genre you reminded me of there, Dan, is open world. Like Breath of the Wild was my first open world game. And I would say that's probably one of my favourite genres now, having loved.
Crazy to think about, actually.
Yeah. But now Horizon, Elden Ring, obviously, really loved both of them. There's probably others that I've played that I can't remember, but and that whole genre, that just sort of wandering around, ticking off little tasks, is very satisfying. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if everything we've mentioned, is that just because is that just a stage we're at in life where we're playing little games where you can kind of just either get lost in them completely or just pick at them gradually when it's convenient. It kind of feels like that.
Depends on the moment it hits as well. I think the Elden Ring really shouldn't have ticked everyone's boxes because the length of time it takes to play, the complexity of it, the difficulty of it, it's bloody obtuse, and that's being polite in terms of storytelling. Like, every single thing about that game shouldn't have clicked with the mass market, but even the time it came out in the year, it was just a weird time for a massive game like that to launch. So in effect, should have had at least something not going for it, then it meant it didn't gel with one or two people. But looking at the list in the Patreon group at the moment, in the WhatsApp, and literally so many people have got Elden Ring in the top 5.
Yeah,
a lot of us included. I think all of us did, didn't we? When we did our 10s, we've all
Yep.
got
I
Elden
think
Ring.
mine was in the top 20, but
Was it in top
since
20?
I've done it, it's
Okay.
made its way up.
Yeah. So again, that is the one thing I would say about Final Fantasy 16 is that hasn't made people go back and want to play Final Fantasy games, whereas Breath of the Wild made me want to go back and play Zeldas. And I didn't really play a lot of Zeldas. I played Wind Waker and one or two others, but not really. Yeah, I wasn't a Zelda fan, but that made me a Zelda fan. So again, probably another example of I don't think it's just an age thing though. I do think there's like movements, isn't it? It's just what's on vogue and what's popular at that point in time. Like there's a bit of magic that goes with it as well with games. Like it's not just like a film comes out and everyone enjoys it because it's well shot and it's a good film and loads of people go and watch it.
Yeah, timing, I guess, has got so much to do with it as well, isn't it?
Massively so. And even like Breath of the Wild, they said that first day of the Switch for it to launch and then be synonymous with that hardware, like that, the Switch must have curried so much favour for a couple of years just on the basis of that and Odyssey coming out so quickly. So magic.
Magic.
Indeed.
Any others that we think we might like now that you want to like? Visual novels is another one for me that I feel like I'm in point and click and sort of slower stuff like that. I feel like I'm open to that now.
Yeah.
Sort of enjoyed a few of them recently. Maybe not that far, but
weirdly, like golf games. Not just because you guys are playing them without me, but like genuinely, like I remember playing Tiger Woods when I was younger, and I've been really hankering to play a game like that in a while. And you said 2K the other day, and I was like, really want to play that again.
But did you not just that was just on PS Plus Essentials?
yeah.
It's you know what, I can't explain it, but they're the things that I look at now and go, I really fancy playing that, or I really fancy being informative about like, or knowing more about that game and that kind of type, and seeing whether or not it's a good example of a game like that. So I played shitloads of, what was it? What's that golf game? Curse to Golf.
Yeah.
And again, just kind of like a golfing aesthetic for me at the moment is just really, I don't know, it appeals to me, and the Masters is on, isn't it, as well? So yeah, is it the Masters? Was the right go? Masters. I can't remember. Golf, sorry. Somebody help me.
Good discussion. Great topic, Ben.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for playing along. Let us know at home.
Yeah. Put your comment below this video. Say hello.
There you go.
By let us know
Engagement.
at home. By let us know at home. Don't post something through our doors, Carl. Fucking just post it in the Discord like a normal person.
You can't reach the letterbox.
Are we playing Know Your Engine this week?
No.
Aww.
Aww.
Never heard of that game.
Yeah.
Is that Unity or Schmunity?
Yeah. Whatever.
All right. If you like what you've heard, you can become a patron for as little as £2 a month. And broadcast message. You can get added to a batshit crazy WhatsApp group. You can access to exclusive content, perks, and giveaways. And we are in the process of overhauling our Patreon. So stay tuned because there may be some super sexy new tiers coming your way. I mean, tiers as in layers, not as in tears from your eyes. Current patrons include Ethan Hunt, Nate Ellingsworth, Carl Hughes, Sean Hughes, Jason Frost, Sarah Public, Rebecca Raghunath, Luke Cooper, Kevin Scully, Mark Hammond, Runestorm, Phil Marshall, Eamon McCauley, Phil Henshaw, Daniel Muir, Games with T. That's it. Your name can be there too. Well done. Your contributions are very, very much appreciated. That's it.
That was good.
Tight show.
Very tight. 50 minutes-ish.
50 odd.
Yeah.
I do want to say as well, you can go you can get to Patreon via the website, crossplayers.com. There's a link. You can also get to our Discord there. You can also go to, as Dan said earlier, patreon.com/the cross players. Patreon.com/the cross players, if that's easier. But come and enjoy, and join us.
Join
If you don't want
us.
to do that, then you can fuck off.
Please keep listening.
We need this.
Leave us a nice review. We need this, please.
Please.
And we're also a couple of weeks away from EGX, so if you go to EGX,
Yes.
come and say hello if you see us.
We've probably got some goodies to give away.
We've
Ooh,
got a
that's
lot
a
of
good
good.
point.
We've got fucking 500 stickers.
Not for nothing, mind.
Yeah,
You have to earn it.
Need a kiss or a blowy. 500 stickers and 1,000 business cards.
Calm down, Phil.
Sofa.
Foot jobs.
You, Phil.
Yeah, so we've got shitloads of stuff to give away, and we're thinking of some sort of silliness to be able to do on the day as well, which you can come and take part of, and then we're probably going to go for drinks after. So that's what we be doing. Let us know. Hit us up.
HMU.
Hit me up.
Yes,
All right, guys.
HMV.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's
Bye.
skip off merrily in the distance.
Shall we
Holding
hold
hands.
Oh, look at that. Great minds.